I'm experimenting with a different camera today, so forgive my eye line. I'm just gonna zoom you in to some extent, but I just got off a really, really exciting discussion with a librarian and I guess a film academic from Harvard about Native American representation in film and TV with the co-creator of Rutherford Falls. It was fascinating. Just backtracking a little bit, I had started with some L'Oreal Miracle Blur blurring cream, and then I went in with this Bareminerals Primetime Foundation Primer, and it feels very slippery. It feels like, of all things, lube. It feels like it's silicone based, and it made me nervous because I couldn't tell what this foundation, this feels like it's the L'Oreal True Match Broad Spectrum SPF 17, what an unusual number, in the shade W4, which is natural beige. I have a tendency to not read and understand, but this time I tried to be careful and choose a shade that I felt like would, right? And I feel like this is very within range. It feels like a medium coverage. It's not giving me all that weird texture in as much as it really does seem matte. It's super blendable foundation. It says it has ingredients tucked away in the back label, but on the skin it does have a mattifying effect. But I did go in and do my eyeshadow first, so you can see the tones of purple, red, little pink peeping through underneath that inner corner gold shimmer. I had used a new product, right? I had gotten hold of this Morphe brow powder in the color Latte, which I did not think was going to be the darkest shade in the world, and I don't think it was the darkest shade, but it definitely gave my eyebrows more, shall we say, weight. I don't know that it made them darker than my brow hair, but I kind of filled them in, and then I went in with the e.l.f. This so far is my favorite soap brow. I haven't tried the Anastasia, but it definitely beats the Makeup Revolution one that I did give a second chance, and it was similarly underwhelming. I won't say disappointing, I'll say underwhelming. Just lowering this a little bit. But yeah, that's where we are with our makeup so far, but I was kind of self-conscious because I was like, well, I want to try out this new camera, right, to see if I can be someone who shoots a tutorial and then edits it down, maybe with a voiceover, but I'm a little bit more comfortable doing lives. And so I was actually doing my makeup during this Zoom Q&A presentation. So I was a little bit nervous about it, and I wasn't sure if people could see me, but I think that the moderator, who was, I guess, a professor, they didn't really use their titles, they were more like friendly. But it was exciting to talk to people from the Ivy League again. It's been, you know, it's been a long time since I've been immersed in that atmosphere, and it was great. I'm just trying to figure out, what do I need to do next in terms of my makeup? Do I need to get some sort of contour on? And since my foundation is on, should it be a cream or a powder foundation? Or should we just go in with bronzing? I do see a lot of influencers just simply bronzing, and I did try the other day this Avani Gregg Morphe bronzer in the darkest shade, which is Bahamas. I heard her talk about the shades, and it was like her vacation spots. And I want to say maybe the medium one is Hawaii, maybe the palest one is LA or Malibu or something like that. I'd be curious to know, because this is a very chocolatey product, and will that overwhelm this somewhat pale shade of foundation? I also was, I see an unblended neck. Can't have that. You know, this was me, you know, while I was doing my makeup, you know, I asked a question because they were like, oh, that's our last question. So I typed it in anyway. Just because I didn't come to the meeting thinking I was going to be able to ask a question or that I even knew what I wanted to ask. But she brought up the Illuminative organization and like their surveys and all of that. And so I asked her a question, could you talk more about it? So, you know, I feel like it was like volleyball. Like, let me give you a talking point where you can, you know, discuss things that are good for everyone on the call, right? It wasn't a, oh, you're right in front of me, I'm gonna like kiss your ass, or be, you know, inappropriate, given how small the time was and how kind of highfalutin the, you know, it was like a cerebral discussion. It wasn't like entertainment news, right? So I felt like it was important to ask a good question. This is the BH Cosmetics. You know I love me some BH Cosmetics, especially after the Doja Cat range, and especially after, where is it? Lost in Los Angeles, my favorite palette of, you know, that I've stumbled across recently. So pretty, and as a brown girl, it reads on me. I did not expect that. But here is a chocolate marshmallow truffle 4-color blush palette, and it looks so deep. It looks like bronzer. Am I crazy? This looks like bronzer to me, right? And it smells, am I crazy? Does it smell like chocolate? Am I imagining? This is the power of suggestion. It makes me want to go to the kitchen and have some, what did I get? Bergamot flavored chocolate from the Armenian grocery store. That would be so good with just black coffee and a little bit of dark chocolate with bergamot. Anyway, let me stay focused. This does have a little mirror in it, so that's classy. But is it a bronzing moment? Is it a contour moment? Maybe what we should do is get into some powder contour and then use one of those chocolatey blush shades to be in a, again, we're just trying to balance the weight of this eye makeup with the rest of what's going on in our face. You know, I was delighted by some of my brushes that I'm kind of getting into my rotation, one of which is this this Eco Tools brush. It's an eyeshadow brush, but it's quite fat, like a little cat paw, right? And then this brush, which is a Cala, similar. It's kind of a fatter head. It has quite a bit of bristle length, but it really has enough stiffness to get in there and really do the job. So maybe we'll work with these to get our contour and bronzer on, or just the contour, I suppose. But we'll use our brush cleaning device from Daiso. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think to myself of all the things I need to do, and I'm sitting here getting hungry, ironically. But it's been a busy day. I was actually really excited to ask a question, and I was excited to be able to speak to her and like have her answer the question. It was a layup question. It wasn't like, oh, I really wonder, but it was cool to see her, you know, talk about her journey. Let's just use the smaller brush and grab our hand mirror, right? Look at me, primer on, eyeshadow done before the, what is it? Eyeshadow done before the foundation and other complexion products. We're just trying to get in here and see, you know, what's the smart way to do a little sculpting, right? Before we, and in this lighting we can actually see, I just feel like this side is a little bit blown out, so I can't see the actual contour of my face. I just turned in one of the kind of side doors on my mirror, but just taking this brush, getting it into the contour shade of this Wet n Wild Mega Glow contouring palette. This is the darker set of colors, but it's not super dark. It looks like kind of like milk chocolate instead of really gray. But just getting our brush in it, doing the influencer tap looking at our jaw, looking at the top of our ear, stroking on a little bit. I've heard people talk about, you know, this point here, right? That if you just contour here, right, that is enough to make you look contoured. Now, did I do that right? Unclear. But this color certainly is reading on our face. Right? And if we tap it on and try to feel our teeth and feel our cheekbone, let's see where we get. Now on this side, I can see much more clearly what I'm trying to do, right? Bring it down to that certain point, right? And these people on TikTok were just putting contour right there and then blending it in. It seemed like such an exciting place to build contour from. So I'm not unhappy with this. All right? Seeing how your face and the muscles in your face work. Same brush, thinking about shrinking the forehead. But it was cool. It was a brother from Harvard. It was a librarian woman who, I didn't see her when she was talking at first. All I saw was her phone number, right? Contour should come out of the end of your brow. I did make my brows a little bit longer with this. What product did I use? Oh, it's the new Morphe Latte eyebrow powder. And I'm not unhappy with what it looks like. I've seen people talk about, you know, soap brow or something like it, and then using hair-like strokes to extend the brow. But today, I just did it with this brow powder, right? And kind of stroked my actual brow hairs down there, but gave it more length so that lets me cheat. All right, some people say your eyeshadow should head up toward the tail end of your brow, right? And by extending that brow, I don't have to have my eyeshadow come up like this. Lift, yes, but sometimes lift can look a little bit extreme, a little bit crazy. We don't want to do that. But, you know, we want to have Harvard Zoom call appropriate makeup, and I think we achieved that. So, I don't know. And I feel like since it was Zoom, it may have been recorded. But I'm hoping I looked appropriate. I do have on this nude kind of like bra top with a bra on. So nothing, you know, but I actually was dressed to do this and thought, well, let me not miss this, since my friend Sabrina had sent me the invite on YouTube. And she's a Yaley and I'm a Columbia person. So, you know, that's cool to kind of like be in touch with people who are, you know, thoughtful and doing things and not, you know, sort of dismissing you and your expensive education. But yeah, from here, this is not looking terrible. I may have brought it down a little bit low, right? A little bit low over here and a little bit broad, right? I'm trying to teach myself to use smaller brushes and get more precise with my application, right? And really go through my stash of products and be thoughtful about what I have and using it, and if it doesn't work for me, getting rid of it, right? Just getting that contour on the jawline. And it is silly, right? You kind of do it by the numbers and not really trusting it, but it is amazing when you actually see yourself on television or in a monitor with your contour game actually working in your favor, right? It looks different in the mirror than it reads on camera. So just these visual tricks of light and shadow, it is amazing that it actually, you know, that the theory actually works. But, you know, it was cool to like kind of connect with some people directly, right? And let them see you. And I said something very specific in my Zoom chat so that they, you know, could kind of place me in the world. I didn't really see a lot of other people on the Zoom call. Is that because their, cameras were off? And I didn't see a ton of other questions. We were only on for an hour, but, you know, it was a little bit distracted for me because I was cleaning my camera and putting batteries in it while I was on the call, but it was really quite delicious and delightful, and I'm very glad to have had that conversation and, you know, had an opportunity to hype up Illuminative and, you know, support her, right? Because it's like, I'm sure that her PR team, and it's very smart of her, just like, you know, Mindy Kaling, right? Sometimes you need professionals to help raise your profile, because there isn't, these things kind of don't happen on their own. You don't, you know, become like super, super famous just for nothing. It does, there is a kind of like hand of the industry in it. So can we use this brush to contour our nose carefully? We did try to underpaint with the brow product, and then we put foundation over it and it kind of canceled itself out. So if we carefully kiss in this palette and look into our mirror, right? Thinking about the top of our nose, we want lines that converge, that connect to the brow, right? That converge, right? You look at drag makeup, right? They're making not parallel lines, converging lines, so that the lines will make the broadness of your nose shrink. A line across. I see different techniques. Some people make a line across the bottom and a line across the middle, looking into natural light. We definitely need to blend. We need to blend out our eye makeup too, but I was so surprised because you know, the moderator let the, ooh, we have lashes too. The moderator let the librarian talk, I believe, with her camera off, right? And then when we saw her, she was kind of in this kind of dimly lit, Cambridge-y looking, you know, whatever it is, apartment, condo, house. And it looked very, I don't know, like she wasn't ready to be on camera. Do you know what I mean? Because the lighting was so dim, and I'm, of course, sitting here with, I didn't even turn on this light. Bam. That's the hair light, right? So ring lights, mirror light, natural light, and then I have a mirror, and then I turn the light up all the way in my phone, you know, to be what? To be what? Camera ready, right? Like, there's going to be a camera on Zoom, right? People do all those creepy backgrounds, and it rarely looks good, but, you know, I get the gimmick of it, especially if you're bored on a call. But what are we doing? We're blending out our eyeshadow. Here's a strange brush we've never used. It's called a flower detail brush, and I guess it's supposed to be made like a flower. But, you know, just looking at how harsh this eye makeup is looking in our mirror, right? We just blend out the edges, right? Making it look a little less stamped on. I like stamping it on, but I also think that it's probably good to just make a nice gradient blend so that you don't look like you're, you know, on stage in Las Vegas. If you want to be subtle, if you want to roll with the the Ivy League Hollywood crowd, I think it's important to, you know, just try to look like you know what you're doing, and, you know, have good manners and be a good listener, and, you know, ask smart questions and all that stuff. And it was, you know, what an exciting, I have to actually go on Facebook and thank Sabrina for hooking that up. I don't know what the website is because, I don't know, I don't do all that stuff. There's all these classes that you can take when you're an alumni, and I feel like I have other things that I get involved in that take up my time. Pinching this brush, running it underneath the eye, right? Pinching the brush, running it underneath the eye. But yeah, what's going on in your world? Are you getting into something exciting today? Yeah, what are we doing? We're gonna blend out our contour. Can we possibly use the same brush? It's not the most abrasive brush, but let's see if this brush cleaning square does the job, right? It's supposed to allow you to vigorously clean your brush so that you can reuse it without wetting it, right? I don't know I see a lot of brushes in action on set, and I always do wonder about their disinfection process. I've never had any issues, but I've had friends who've complained of, you know, breaking out in hives or rashes or things of that nature. And I don't know if it's a sabotage issue or a allergy issue or what, but just looking into our mirror, right? You see that harsh contour. I know I want to lift it up. So just small circular motions holding our brush at the tip, right? Really trying to be loving to the skin, but also try to get a blend and a, you know, kind of restoring a human level of color, a human level of contour, right? We can feel our teeth, we can feel the bones. We're using the tip of that flower to hopefully do something, right? Contouring here, contouring there, but contouring going up toward the tip of that ear, right? Contouring along the jaw, just wanting to soften it and make it seem almost like it's a real shadow, that we haven't been eating tiramisu and what is it? Key lime pie and spicy sushi. You know, I don't know, I've just been in I've been in effect mode. I've been trying to look at my to-do list and get things done, and it kind of gets a little messy because then it's like I have multiple to-do lists and I try to, you know, rewrite them and cross things off and then throw them in the trash and then, you know, keep track of all the different things that I want to do, including compiling my acting reel, because I've done enough speaking roles now where I could really be out there auditioning, right? I feel like, oh, I have things to do. I have this to do. I want to get this in a certain place, like my social media. I want to get into more of a habit. And I really have learned so much just by, you know, trying to do this regularly, right? That I'm not getting on a Zoom call on my phone with no lights on. That would be suicide. I would look awful. And, you know, having on some kind of, dare I call this an outfit? I don't know what the angle was that you could see on Zoom. It seemed like other people had like a horizontal orientation. I don't know. If it was recorded, maybe it'll see the light of day. But, you know, I am wearing somewhat of, well, I guess what passes in Los Angeles for a shirt. But, and I did do my hair. I had done my brows and my eyeshadow at that point, so I didn't look like a complete screwball. But yeah, it was super cool. And I feel like just blending this other cheek contour, this color doesn't look very convincing as contour in the pan. Look at me using my left hand. But it looks much more convincing now that I put it on. I don't think I've ever trusted in this palette before enough to really, you know, get in here and really contour with it. But I'm not displeased. It does look subtle, and it kind of blended out to more of a shadow kind of tone without being as warm as a bronzer. Right? Connecting it down to the jaw, looking at our nose. I never think that my nose contour makes my nose look thinner. I think it can make my nose look more structured, right? The idea being to shorten the nose and narrow the tip, but we might need to put some concealer on these nostrils to help erase it. But I feel like the forehead contour and just knowing where that forehead contour should start, both to shrink the forehead, but this area right here by the eye, a lot of people bring their blush all the way in there or bring their contour already over, all the way over there, and it just, I don't know that you want, or I certainly don't, I don't want to narrow my face. I do tend to want to highlight here to lengthen my face. The lower third of my face is a bit small. I don't have a giant forehead, thankfully, but you know, we try to do a little something. And if nothing else, your makeup makes you look more groomed when you're on camera. And maybe that's the trick. We're not trying to look like someone else per se, but we want to look more groomed and we want to look attractive, right? People you just meet for the first time, you talk to them for the first time, you want to make a good impression. Maybe I should have had more of a shirt on. I don't know, but it's done now, and at least I asked a smart question, right? The intellect is still there, despite what my job is on a daily basis. What are we doing next? So we blended our contour, and that doesn't look half bad. Again, it might be a little bit too generous, right? But we can use concealer to sharpen up that cheek contour. You know, we're laying it over foundation. Should we have under painted and then laid foundation over it? Right, and the hand mirror liberates you to look at your face in all different light, all different angles of light. All right, look at that forehead. Think about where we could put some highlighting. Now this palette also has highlighter in it. I'm suspicious. We haven't powdered our foundation at all, but dare we trust this caramel toffee contouring palette and the highlighting side of it? The back of this has a legend that suggests that we might be able to do something. So let's try it. We did clean this brush. Theoretically, it's clean. Let's grab our mirror and then see what we can do. Just to give us a little brightness on the top of the nose, right? Without it being highlighter. Is that doing anything? Is it doing enough? Boy, I want a peanut butter sandwich right now. But I'm committed to finishing this makeup look for you, the people. But yeah, no, I'm excited that my makeup, usually I'm, you know, when I'm at, you know, the Sky Cabana, I'm usually just doing my makeup for camera, just highlighting the chin, trying to give us more chin, have that weak chin jump forward, right? Using this brush, it certainly seems to pack on product in an adequate fashion. But yeah, no, that was great. I don't know if any of the other people I know were on that call, but I was certainly on it. I wonder if her colleagues were on it. Dun dun dun. I don't know, but I'd be curious to know. Maybe put that on as somewhat of a highlighter. Again, trying to get that cheek contour under control and kind of shift it back into just the place where we want it, right? We don't want to put a heap ton of product on our face, but if we can cheat this powder, this contouring palette as kind of a setting powder over that foundation, then, you know, that might be a win. So from here, since we've gone in with powder and tried to kind of slenderize that cheek contour, right? I'm always happier with what I see over here than over here. I can't tell if it's symmetrical. Also highlighting that jaw, right? To have it catch the light so that I look more strong-jawed and, I don't know, masculine maybe? Is it the jaw or the brow bone that makes you look masculine? Maybe we can use the same highlighter under the eye and down the sides of the nose. It does seem to be a finely milled product, right? It does seem to have an effect of not only blurring and making less shiny, but also creating a frame for that nose contour, right? I feel like my nose contour is never satisfyingly thin enough, but I'm gonna keep working on it. I suggest you keep working on it too. So making those nostrils pale, really building up the architecture of the middle of the nose to try to create the optical illusion that our nose is either keener or smaller or more structured, right? But you don't want that contour to wander all the way down your nose. And you don't want bronzer all over your face. You want bronzer strategically on your face. But this contour palette, I feel like I've never really given it its fair shot. I'm really shocked at how good this highlighting side powder is, because do I even need to go in with concealer? Put a little under the mouth, since that's the fancy thing to do these days, and maybe we just need to get on a little blush. But I'm really glad I had makeup on for that. ah, Ivy League. Ivy League meets Hollywood. It's a very powerful combination, potentially. You know, drop the little bio in the chat. You know, just being efficient with it. I knew I had time off today to do that call, and I'm really glad I did do that call. So if this is the Chocolate Marshmallow Truffle palette, let's go in with, in John McClane's honor, the palest shade, right? Let's see what's happening with the palest shade. Now, what's a good blush brush? Eco Tools Skin Perfecting. Is this appropriate, or should we use one of these angled brushes? These are not the highest quality brushes, but what you want. There is a mirror in here, but it's quite small. My face is bigger than that mirror. So we're gonna dip into, there's no shade names, but this kind of like rust color. It seems like such a fall palette, but you know, I'm not the palest, you know, person. So it's on our brush, looking into our mirror, just getting it on the cheekbone at a high angle and getting it up toward the lower lash line. Let's hit it again. On the cheek at a high angle, feeling that cheekbone and blending it up toward the lower lash line. Right? So it kisses down into that contour, but remains lifted and above the contour shade. Other side. Looking into our mirror, on the top of that cheekbone at a lifted angle, right? Kissing it up toward the lower lash line. One more time. Getting that cheekbone up toward the lower lash line, right? Kiss it on the chin. So lovely, and it does smell rather chocolatey. I'll check online to see if I'm hallucinating about that. A little across the forehead, right? That's where I believe Patrick Starr suggests that you should put your forehead blush, as if that's where the sun has hit you. And then the final kiss with your angled brush, right, on the bridge of the nose. It was very heartening to see. Was it painted by Spencer? Some women on TikTok not putting blush on the end of the nose. That is such a like scene girl thing that makes you look like you have an allergy. I think. Maybe I'm just a square. But you know, where the sun might hit, where you might get a sunburn. That's kind of what you're trying to evoke, right? So is the makeup clean girl still? Is that eyeshadow too bright for clean girl? Is our eyeshadow uneven, I wonder? Do we need to go in with a little bit more of a blend? Can we use our same contour brush to try to take that reddish pink down to a level that is similar to what's on the other side? Look how pretty that is. I mean, I'm no makeup expert, but I will tell you this. I am getting better. A delightful palette. We've tried one color today, and it looks lifted and natural, and you know, balances the weight of that kind of, you know, pinky gold eyeshadow. Lips are getting dry. Here is a Milk Makeup Kush lip glaze to the rescue. Has this incredible metal tip that is so delightfully icy when you put it on your lips, right? So just want to get that on your lip, right? And it The metal makes it glide even more smoothly than plastic, right? And you can very carefully, like so many things in life, just squeeze it so a little bit comes out, just the barest little smidgen, right? You don't want to waste it. You don't want to make it so greasy that your lip liner can't cling on. No, you just want a little emollient. And this is, I asked this in a YouTube short, like, are there actual lip moisturizers? Because most of these products feel like oil. They're comfortable, but is this really moisturizing my lips? This is my question. People talk about the Laneige, whatever, lip mask for at night, and this isn't night. So what are we doing? Do we need a lip mask just to get moisture in our lips? I'm someone that if I don't moisturize or, you know, put something on my lips, it's just, I'm addicted to it. I gotta have it. So let's look at our face, see where we are. We have a subtle liner that is just simply purple eyeshadow, but stamped on, giving us a subtle suggestion of a wing. We've gone over it a little bit with our foundation and other products, even with our highlighting powder from that Wet n Wild palette. So at this point, if we use our favorite L'Oreal 16-hour infallible never fail lip liner. Now I don't believe this. This lip liner doesn't stay on for 16 hours. I'm not the next day looking at this lip liner. It's a nice claim, but I don't know what they mean. Let's take off some of that Kush lip product and really precisely draw our lip line. We don't really need to overline. Let's be serious. Right here, middle, right there. Drawing a little M like it's McDonald's, right? Little M. Little M, right? Right across that bottom. They're really delightful and charming and businesslike, and everyone on that call was great. And it was just interesting that he made me, or encouraged me, I guess, to turn my camera on, whereas the librarian didn't. She did when it was time to say flowery goodbyes. It's so interesting to look at like Ivy League etiquette in an academic setting. People are very nice, but it's like, it's definitely important to let people know your credentials. You know, back in the saddle. Yeah. Look at that. Draw the little X over this very vulgar little, I don't know what you call that. They say this is the Cupid's bow. I'm not sure what that is because it looks more like a top of an arrow, you know, as in the bow and arrow kind of thing. Right? Draw these lines to give you more structure. I want to use that Doja Cat purple, but I know it's too much. It's too much for this eye makeup. Look. Press that together. I don't hate that. We could do a clear gloss over that like we did last time. Or we've got a lot of options, right? Here's all these NYX Shine Loud gloss. It's like a kind of like a liquid lipstick, and then it has a some kind of gloss you put over it so it doesn't come off on your mask. And I have two colors that look similar. One is Cash Flow and one is Magic Maker. So let's go for the palest shade. This is, what is it? Cash Flow. I'm starving. I should stop and eat something. But, you know, do we really want to dirty up the applicator? I don't know. Because it comes out like this. Maybe if we carefully dot it on, it'll be all right. I hope. All right. Dot it in there. Press it together. Did that go left? It certainly looks cool. But just use your ring finger. It's problems with connectivity. But you know, once you press that pink into that brown liner, it gives you definition. It gives you a kind of attractive pink color that you don't necessarily have on your own. You can always take the excess, I always do this, and tap it into your cheeks just to, everywhere that you put blush, just to A, not waste the product, and B, to you know, just give more visual unity, right? So I look like I've been out in the sun and have a sunburn all the way across my face, a little bit on the forehead, a little bit on the chin, right? But the texture of this product alone is one that is very lip-like, right? It's not screaming, oh, I'm wearing makeup. Not at all, right? It's just using our beauty blender to tap in what's under the eyes on a normal work day and tap out anything that looks distracting. On a normal work day, I would spray this down with setting spray, but I don't really have plans. I did my work for today on Zoom with Harvard. We could go the step of going to the other end of this product and then stroking on this gloss just to see what it looks like. I like a dry looking lip. If I were in a meeting or in a setting where I was actually next to people in real life, I just think it looks more realistic. Like you could believe that my lips are this color, right? This apparently keeps your lip color off your mask. Let's go. Right in the center, pressed together, so it's not everywhere, right? You don't want that disco club look. You want that Harvard level of makeup. You just want it to look, and it does. It looks juicy. It looks flattering. Look at that, right? Look at those brows, brushed up and enhanced. We could even give the brows another go by re-wetting our spoolie. Really get them brows standing tall, recognizing their power and their intellect. We seem to have rubbed away some of the tail end of our brow, and we could go back and restore it, right? Just as you think about order of products, right? That doing your brows before foundation inevitably gets your brows kind of messed up to some extent, right? You're gonna rub it off. I had some other brow products. Where did I put them? These NYX something or another's that have gone somewhere. Oh, here they are. They're underneath the contour palette. So there is a chocolate one and an espresso one. So let's rock with chocolate. Right, we're indulging ourselves. We put in some really good work today with the intellectuals. And now this comes with a cute little brush on the end. Now we can go into this. Look at this. It has a shape that allows you many edges so that you can make hair-like strokes. Now, my brows might still be wet, but what we're wanting to do is extend that brow, right? Just using the tip, just the tip, creating a little, if not a longer brow, then a shadow that suggests a longer brow. Wanting to make it pointy. I remember I had passport photos done and I went to a makeup artist before for something. It was something for work. He drew such extreme brows on me and I had that passport photo forever and I was not the makeup practitioner that I am now by any means. People were always like, is that you? And it's like, there was such a gulf between me in my regular face without makeup and what that picture looked like. I looked like MTV. What else could we do? Should we stick on a false eyelash? We decided to pull out some false eyelashes that we were interested in recycling. We washed them, but I never put on eyelashes or mascara after that, you know, experiment back in December with those false eyelashes. And I just don't see the purpose of having permanent eyelashes on. It really doesn't. It's, in my case, it wasn't good for my lashes. Should we do more liner? What should we do? I feel like this is an adequate amount of makeup, right? Here's this eye marker from LA Colors, and it has a little ball. That makes it seem like it's going to be a nice juicy liner. It's in the color black, right? So this is subtle for day, right? This is a daytime appropriate suggestion of liner made with just shadow, right? Purple, which reads on my skin as brown. Here is an actual felt tipped marker, right? If we just look at our eye and stamp, bam, right? Not crazy long, and just connect that to the lash line, right? Is that enough? Right? Looking at our eye, right? Stamp, right? Enhance it and connect it to the lash line, right? Powerful. Black. Looking at the inner corner, taking it from the upper lash line. That is not so good. Tried to stamp it. My inner corner is some funny architecture in there. But wanting there to be like a clear inner corner flick. I have heard it's more successful to use brush tipped eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, than it is to use felt tipped. Other side. Trying it, right? We did something, but it's not as saturated and sharp as it could be. It's not terrible, it's just not great. But it is LA Colors, and I believe that you can get this at the Dollar Tree. Adequate, not great. Better than nothing, especially for a Zoom call. I'm not gonna say you look ugly without makeup, but you don't look the same as camera ready. It's like going on a news program and not wearing a tie. You look fine in a t-shirt, but it's just something about the structure. And now that this makeup has melted into my face, even that kind of sloppy inner corner, right? How cute does that look? With this hairdo, right? That inner corner shimmer bringing light, that attempted, that attempted nose contour. Where is our brush? I think this was the highlighter one. Is this the, hope this is the one for contour. All right, just sharpening that up. All right, we added that middle highlight, and it's subtle. It's just to trick the eye and make you think that this nose has more structure than perhaps it does naturally, right? Extending those nostrils, just trying to make the nose look altered. I won't say narrowed. I won't even say it's done much of anything, but that's makeup. You gotta live within the limits of, you know, what it's supposed to do. Now, my eyeliner has drifted down onto my lower lid on the right side. We don't want that. We don't want any, I don't like a lot of like dark on my lower lash line. I tend to like that lower lash line either bare or something like a gold or a bronze down there, right? This is a metallic lights bronze gleam from our friends at Milani. Now check this out, right? Just stroking it along the lash line, maybe in the waterline if you're comfortable, right? Without being a pink or a purple or a white or a nude. On my coloring, it just jazzes it up and catches the light so that anyone looking at you can tell that you've done a little something, but it's not black and it's not something that's going to drift and make dark circles under your eyes. Like I remember there was some sort of bronze color from Wet n Wild, and I bought every one I could see because, as I feared, they don't make it anymore. Label has worn off, and I cracked the top of this. Not the most expensive packaging with Wet n Wild, but unlike most of their other colors, this is the Color Icon Kohl eyeliner in prose and bronze. In French, I think it's bronze massif, whatever that means, 606A. This is also a super cheap 99 cents. Spectacular on the lower lash line. You want to look enhanced. You don't want to look like you're not Joan Jett. You're not in a punk band. You're wanting to look dressed for dinner and pretty with a nice outfit, or without, you know, like this top, without a lot of clothing on. Right? You want people to see you and see your artistry. You don't want them to think less of you or that you're a tryhard. What else? What else? What else? You know, I don't know. I mean, I think you have to face the fact that a lot of people, you know, including myself, we're all having our struggle during these difficult times, right? Things are not ideal. But, you know, as long as you're kind of 51% good, like as long as you feel like things are going your way or going in an interesting way, at least 51% of the time, then you'll be all right, right? You're old enough to have been through some ups and downs and not knowing what was going to happen. But, you know, and I understand there are crises that I don't live, and I don't, you know, I don't go through a certain, you know, set of struggles that other people do. But at the same time, you know, like you can ask for help and maybe not everyone's going to help you. And if that's the case, you still handle your stuff as an adult. But, you know, what I don't, I guess, tolerate, right? I don't feel like I'm close to a lot of people to the point where I would allow them to yell and scream. Yell and scream is appropriate if, you know, the house is burning down or there's a car accident. No, the car is going to hit you. That kind of thing. That's yell and scream. But, like, get on the phone and yell and scream and act dramatic. You know, my spirit is not one that embraces that kind of behavior in a non-emergency situation, right? People on TikTok talk about it as protect your peace, right? You don't want to be taken down a road of alarm and trouble that is not, it's not constructive. Right? And you're not to blame. You're not even involved in whatever is inspiring it. But, you know, it doesn't mean that other people won't try to, you know, in a way, drag you down, right? I don't think you can not, I don't think you're supposed to not reach out to people when you're struggling, but I don't think it's your place to kind of blame shift or trauma dump or try to make it seem like, you know, someone did something bad by not kind of going through whatever you're going through. I know that's vague, but in any case, we all have to, you know, we're all on our journey and we have to do our best, but our best doesn't require, you know, taking crap from other people, no matter what you're going through. You can very quietly, you know, say something supportive and move on. But, you know, if you've ever lived with someone or had like a long-term relationship with someone who just, you know, it's like that Amber Heard energy. They just want to yell and scream and have an argument and everything is suffering and your fault and why are you leaving and how dare you get off the phone, and you're like, you know, bye. Bye. I got other things to do, you know, it's not my thing to be over here engaging in strife. Like it's just not my thing. I'm not doing it. Do we need any under eye concealer? Or is that gonna mess up our makeup? Inner corner flick is on. Lips poppin' with that gloss, right? Hair is looking good. Is our blush too blushed? You know, we keep pulling out our Creme Shop Unicorn Beauty Blender, but we don't want to mess it up, right? We keep using our old standby greenie, and, you know, things are looking good. You know, I see business messages coming in. I am going to make a couple of shorts and reels and other things, but I really would like to stop and have a snack. So in any case, you know, thank you for joining me today. This has been such an enjoyable makeup moment and day. I think that we did everything that you know, if I were going out or if I needed to be on camera, I feel like this is everything I need to do. I could add mascara and lashes. I could, you know, do those two things. I could also add highlighter. But, you know, I think having a highlight inner eyelid, it kind of lets that pop and stand on its own. So the real glisten is from my eyeshadow and then these glossy lips. And maybe that's enough. Maybe you don't need to have all the ornaments on the Christmas tree every single time. This eyeshadow is, you know, certainly more than anyone at an Ivy League college would be running around sporting. So maybe it's enough to let that live and breathe and have people kind of think about its impact, right? That what's nice is that, you know, these glitters or shimmers stamp on and they really don't travel. They kind of stay put. They don't wander down your face. You know, and again, I have a very good review of this Truffle palette. This is an Essence eyeshadow palette that I have put somewhere, and I don't know where I put it, but I find this to be a most agreeable eyeshadow palette. It's the Essence Something Energy palette that I cannot find. Where are you? This is what happens. You know, I don't know where this has gone. I'm sure I'll see it the second I end my live. But the other thing that we could try to do, we did get a hold of this Fenty Kilowatt foil, right? This product premiered a few years ago, but you know, there's two shades. One is kind of a mango and the other is and it does have its own mirror. So on this look, we could tap into this mango shade with one side of our brush and then see if we could add a kiss of that in the center of our inner corner shimmer, right? Taking that gold to orange. Gold to this mango shade. Is that what it's called? Mimosa Sunrise. Does that flatter my skin tone more than the gold? What do you think? Subtle, poppin', right? Then, should we make that symmetrical? You know, why not? We're gonna try to take a photo for Instagram, but I should probably get off this live. Let me use the other side just to experiment with this Sangria Sunset on our outer corner. And these are highlighters, they're not eyeshadow, right? Highlighter, right? If I were going out after work, I could get in here with this kind of intensity and go all the way shimmer across the lid, right? How would you possibly use this as highlighter on the rest of your face? This is a question. But certainly on these lids, it does a very arresting job, right? And this, if you're on vacation, right? You're wearing like a big floral outfit, just all the drama, all the drama. Look at these lids. And the mirror is top notch. It's not one of those mirrors that makes you, that's either blurry or you can't see in. So quality product. And now we're ready for night. Maybe a little bit more of a bright colored outfit. But anyway, I have to run because one of my bosses or management has sent me messages. So thank you for joining me on this live. Thank you so much. It's been a really great experience. You know, there's always struggle. There's always stuff that we want to be better or to know what's going to happen. But if we can hang on to our health and our hope and, you know, enhance our day by getting into our makeup practice or thinking about storytelling or anything that we love, you know, working out, good food, water, sleep, it's going to be a better day. And there's always tomorrow. So until next time, I will see you again here on Camera Ready. And today I was camera ready, right? tomorrow too. See you next time. Bye.